Sathyam Sivam Sundaram, Volume 3, Chapter 4, Example and Precept. Example is better than precept, the saying goes, but the example that the older generation is holding forth before the young one is more perilous than their precept. Baba has laid the blame squarely on shoulders of parents, teachers, and society for bringing up the rising generation in dull, drab, dismal schools with God kept out, idealism negated. Baba hurried from East Africa to Bombay and from Bombay to Anantapur en route Bangalore, since a great step in the campaign of Dharmastapana for which he has come had to be initiated on 22nd June 1968. Baba was establishing a college for women at Anantapur. Aurobindo has said, a new center of thought implies a new center of education. This avatar has no destructive weapons in his possession like the danda bow of Rama or chakra discus of Krishna. He relies on education rather than elimination, instruction rather than destruction. The good are encouraged to become better to enter the region of the best and the blessed. The bad are encouraged to shed the coil of cowardice which keeps them in fear and induces them to cause fear in self defense. Baba is therefore the premier educator of the age. Every word of his is a mantra, every speech an Upanishad, every exhortation Gita, every song that he sings a pilgrimage into the holiest core of one's being, a revelation of one's destiny and divine glory. Baba instructs the incorrigible, the intransigent, the infidel, and infant in spiritual sadhana. He takes all into his fold. In his presence, one cannot say the hungry sheep looks up and are not fed. They may be sheep or goat. They may not look up at all. They may not realize that they are hungry. They may not recognize good from bad. They may not be aware of where food is available in plenty. But Baba fondles them, feeds them with food that ensures health and happiness beyond measure, beyond the ravages of time and erosion of doubt. Baba often writes letters to those whom he wants to correct or console or to conduct into the fortunate group of the illumined. He showers love, guides with sweet companionship, warns sternly, and leads sadhaks by hand. The book he has written, Prema Vahini, Gyan Vahini, Prashanti Vahini, Dhyana Vahini, Dharma Vahini, Sandeha Nivarini, the Gita Vahini, and Bhagavata Vahini are treasures that shed light on intricate problems of spiritual discipline. Passing down the corridor of time, the epics and Puranas have accumulated interpolations from imaginative enthusiasts, which mar the grandeur of the originals and disgust seekers of divine nectar. Baba has edited the Bhagavata and the Ramayana in a manner which makes them invaluable guides for aspirants to liberation. Baba's discourses, which attract gathering of tens of thousands, even in most secluded village, herald a new era in the lives of all who hear them, even if they do not understand the language which he uses. For as Baba says, when heart communicates with heart in love, the language is an impediment rather than an instrument. Baba, as educator, does not spare even the hours of sleep of those whom he intends to teach. When he struck Swami Abhidananda on head while he was lying in the bed at Sri Ramana Ashram in Tirumalli, the aged Swami sat up, wondered who, what, and why. Baba gave him the darshan of late Sri Ramana Maharishi and of himself separately and an upsurge of light in which both merged. This was to reveal to him that he and his guru were the same. Then he spoke to him in Telugu about the ways in which he has to modify his meditation to enable him to get rid of the doubts and deviation that haunted him. Baba appears to some sadhaks during what can only be described as dreams and favors them with timely advice such as concentrate on the Vishuddhi Chakra. The sadhaka who received this advice asked me what and where the said chakra is situated. It was found that this chakra is the center of nourishment for the body, which at the time was just the problem confronting the sadhaka. Or read the Mahanyasa also, he advised another sannyasi who was ceremonially reading Devi Bhagavatam. Baba also teaches during dhyana as he does Dr. Penn in California. Wherever the latter has a spiritual dilemma or not to unravel, he shall give here two extract of what he once said to sadhaka in a dream, which the sadhaka recorded in his notebook as soon as he awoke. You must have freedom not only from fear but freedom from hope and expectation. The trust in my wisdom. I do not make mistakes. Love my uncertainty, for it is not a mistake, it is my intent and will. Remember, nothing happens without my will. Be still. Do not want to understand. Do not ask to understand. Relinquish understanding. Relinquish the imperative that demands understanding. Meditate upon the feeling between waking and sleeping. Know how immediate, how close, how deeply compatible it is. Is the feeling of really giving up. The body is limp. Awareness too is limp. Let the feeling of God overcome you like sleep. Pairing to devotees in dreams, Baba has taught them new bhajan songs, sitting in front of them as music teachers do, with instructions to sing them during the Shera festival at Puttaparthi. Later, when they arrive at Puttaparthi, they were prompted by him to sing them. A devotee was once so involved in civic suits at court that he was nearly bankrupt. Appearing to him while he was asleep, Baba told him plainly, properties, my dear fellow, are not properties. Baba, as an educator and as the incarnation that has come in order to educate, is engaged in that task all over the world at all times. His opening words at every discourse are Divya Atma Swarupa Lara, embodiment of divine Atma. That is the sum and substance of all his teachings. Man had to realize that he is the Atma, unconquerable, indestructible, unlimited, the existence, knowledge, bliss wave of the ocean that is God. The awareness of this truth is bhakti, Swaruswarupa Anusandhanam, Bhakti Riti Abhidiyate, says Shankara. Baba insists upon everyone being told truth about himself, everyone being given a glimpse of himself in the mirror so that he may live in strength, faith, courage, and peace. He says the tree of life, Ashtvatha, has its root in Atma. If the faith is absent, we dry up and are wafted hither and thither by every wind of fortune, wayward whiffs of transcendence. The trunk and the branches, the leaves of the twigs of the tree of life are ramifications of our contact and commitment with the outer world, the kith and kin, and I and mine, and the plus and minus into which life proliferates. The flower of tree are words, thoughts, and deeds of love, and ananda derived in the fruit. But Baba says sweetness in the fruit is virtue, sila, good godly character. Without sila, which makes the fruit worthwhile, and the atmic root which sustains the tree, life is mere plowing of sand. The body is but fuel, fodder, or vermin. In order to imprint upon man the truth of his Atmic core, Baba has a continuous chain of organizations which are supervised and managed by devotees soaked in his teachings and guided by him. Toddlers are gathered by affectionate arms into Bal Vikas classes. They were called Bal Vihars, but the name has been made more pur- purposive and significant. They are taught bhajans, they enact plays on themes selected from Upanishads, epics, Puranas, and lives of saints, many of them written by Baba himself. They are trained to revere parents and elders, to observe rules of the road, to draw and make models of scenes and shrines reminiscent of higher values of life. They greet each other reverentially with Om, which is as it should be. In short, Balavika's child discards the A for apple and adopts A for Arjuna stage. It does not repeat Baba black sheep, have you any wool, or talk of Robin Redbreast and Santa Claus. It repeats Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram or Subramanyam Shanmukhanatha Subramanyam. Then boys and girls enter the junior Seva Dal, where they learn selective verses from Bhagavad Gita and songs sung by saints in adoration of God. They attend first aid classes, practice meditation, develop artistic talent through plays, painting, floral decoration, and speak before gathering on Baba and his teaching, reproducing the illustrative stories and parables that Baba uses. When they reach the stage of 18, they are inducted into regular Seva Dals, given a sound and spiritual training to withstand the hard realities of Seva. They organize bhajans in jails, remand houses, leprosia, hospitals, slums, schools, and hostels. They help in keeping their town or village clean and healthy, donate blood to the blood bank, study the scriptures, and enact moral plays. Every opportunity is used by them to develop skills and place themselves at the disposal of the distressed and deprived. Older people have the Seva Smitis, which organize bhajan mandalis, Naga Sankirtan, study circles, and celebration of holy days, holy days to commemorate the greatness of saints and sages. The Mahila Vigas of these smithies extend seva among women and conduct Bal Vikas classes, guiding the children along the path of truth. Thus, under Baba's continuous and consistent inspiration and guidance, a fertilizing flood of higher education and spiritual transportation is sweeping over the earth. Baba has declared that he has come to establish truth, uproot untruth, revitalize moral ideals in affairs of mankind. The Bhagawan Sri Satya Sai Seva organization has become the new center of education for new center of Sai thought. In this Sai era, Baba says the organization is intended to broaden service. It has not been devised to parade devotion or collect devotees or canvass support for some new fangled breed. It is dedicated to the great task of progressively aiding people to realize their reality and merge in it. Vidya Datati Vinayam. Education must endow man with humility. The wise are humble that they know not much. Fool is proud that he knows so much. Humility and reverence are the genuine fruit of education. Instead, reverence is the first casualty in school and college today. Baba repeats a Gita dictum: Panditah Samadarshina. Scholars visualize unity. They do not promote factions. They do not encourage hatred. They seek the one, if known. All else is known. They they seek the one, if known, all else is known. They seek harmony, not conflict. But nowadays, scholars have envy, malice, and conflict as their professional malady. Baba finds that the task of Dharmastapna the re-establishment of morality and righteousness has to be undertaken in educational institutions also. For every year, the pump into the stream of national life is perfidious poison of irreverence, indiscipline, inefficiency, and rootless culture. The Upanishadic students was advised by the Guru before every lesson that education was a shared experience and the slightest tinge of anger and misunderstanding between the teacher and the taught contaminates the gift, the giver, and the receiver, all three. Students of today terrorize the teacher. Teachers calculate their monetary rewards and evade their fundamental duty to teach. They do not examine the right to claim reverence. The Upanishadic Guru sent the students home after he had completed his studies with the exhortation Satyam Vadha, Dharnam Chara, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, and Acharya Devo Bhava. Utter truth, walk in the path of righteousness, revere the mother as God, revere the teacher as God. But parents are now treated as obstructions, troubling the youth from the other bank of the generation gap. Mother is a bundle of old world superstitions, and the teacher is a person who can be bribed or frightened into granting certificates and marks to pass examination and get degrees. Therefore, Baba felt that youth has to be quickly led back onto the road they have missed. They must be warned of the calamity that awaits them and through them the country, and not only in India but in all lands. Student unrest that is spreading over the world is but the external rumbling of an internal maladjustment. The atmosphere in which they grow up and the roles which they are being prepared for by parents, elders, and rulers are reeking into the hypocrisy and pettiness, triviality, and titillation. Example is better than precept, that the saying goes, but example that older generation is holding forth before the younger one is now pernicious than their precept. Baba has laid the blame squarely on shoulders of parents, teachers, and society for bringing up the rising generation in dull, drab, dismal school with God kept out and idealism negated. Baba holds that there is no authority which has laid down that an avatar can do this or cannot do this. Krishna planned to drive a chariot, for this was the best and speediest way for the task which he had come to accomplish. Rama went hunting a golden deer, though he knew that it was only a clever decoy, that it was necessary that he should be away so Ravana could kidnap Sita by a stratagem, a fell crime for which death was legitimate reward. So Baba asked, what prevents me from starting colleges? No one can prevent a flower from imparting its fragrance to the air. It is my nature to educate, to draw forth into the light the divinity that is inherent in man. I use all means that are consummation. You have been praying, Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, lead us from darkness into light. This is one of the answers. Baba thought of correcting and educating of women in the first instance, for as he had written in Dharmavahani, no nation can be built strong and stable except on spiritual culture of its women. This generation is full of unrighteousness and injustice, malevolence and greed, falsehood and cruelty, because the mothers who brought it up were not vigilant enough or intelligent enough, or because they were not trusted enough by men with the responsibility of chastening and fostering their children. What is past is past. To save at least the next generation, women have to be educated in well-planned manner and endowed with wisdom, fortitude, and faith that can equip them for great responsibility that rests upon them. In June 1966, Baba was at Anantapur, the biggest town of the district and its official capital, 60 miles from Prashanti Nilayam, at the invitation of a high school for girls. The plight of the girls who had to go to a distant place for higher education, and also the kind of education for which they were spending much time and money, affected him. He resolved upon another step in his task or of dharmastapana. For women have to be have been in the custodian of dharma since millennia. The cradle is first school for the children of man. He announced that there would be a women's college at Anantapur soon. He resolved upon making Anantapur the focal point of educational revolution that will consummate the revival of Sanatana Dharma for lasting benefit for the human family. The Women College was inaugurated on the 22nd of July 1968. Very few colleges are inaugurated under such distinguished auspices or with promise of such triumphant career for the alumni. Few have on the opening day itself such an imposing array of equipment, furniture, books, and above all a band of teachers with such enthusiasm and academic efficiency. The minister in charge of education in government of Andhra Pradesh, who presided over the public meeting, said that what was being inaugurated was not just one college among so many, but new chapter in the history of women education itself. He knew that the college was to be the precursor of many more such colleges all over the country. For Baba announced that he was planning a college or two in every state of India, all to be knit together later into a university as an instrument forged for his task. Baba said the prompting behind this college is not the search for reputation or desire to propagate a cult or the hope of monetary profit. Fame is a fickle figment. Reputation rots quite soon. Profit, when it is calculated in terms of cash, defiles. I have allowed this college to rise because it will install in mind of student the ideal Satya, Dharma, Shanti and Prema, ideals delaminated in Vedas, described in Shastras, illustrated in epics, practiced by countless generations and confined by experience as best suited for individuals and social progress. Every child born in Bharat has the right to know and benefit by this precious heritage. Agriculture is for living, Atma culture is for success in life, an educational system that keeps children away from God, the only refuge, the only kingsman, the only guide, and guard is a system where the blind are engaged in blinding those who long for light. Women are the bulwarks of spiritual culture, but as is evident from the attitude and behavior of educated women today, they are fast succumbing to the flimsy attractions of froth and frippery, cheap and shoddy literature and sensual films. Every child has five mothers and owes its loyalty to these five. They fill its life with meaning and purpose. The Deh Mata, the mother who gave birth to its body, the Go Mata, the cow that gives it milk, and the bullock that is partner in growing its food throughout life. The Bhu Mata, land that in turn for seed offered grain 100-fold. The Desa Mata, the region inhabited by society it is born into, that stamps on it its way of living, lines of thinking and ideals and goals, and Veda Mata, the heritage of spiritual treasure. The first Mata has to reveal to the child the glories of all the other four, and so her status is crucial. Her responsibility is pivotal. That is the reason why I have resolved to start a women's college in the first instance, in order to preserve and promote Dharma, the universal Sanatan Dharma I have come to vitalize and lead to victory. Atma Vidya alone can fix the mind in Dharma, Baba declared. The Satya Sai, Veda Shastra, Pathshala at Prashanti Nilayam is preparing a number of young men acquainted with the terrain of the spirit as explored by the adventurous pioneers of ancient India. They also imbibe the message of Prashanti Nilayam, practicing the discipline of silence, not negative silence when the temptation to speak aloud and to express emotion and passion are resisted, but positive silence that springs from freedom, holiness, and awareness of omnipresence of Baba. There is also the All India Prashanti Vidwan Mahasabha with its galaxy of Vedic Pandits and Sanskrit savants who have been commissioned by Baba to share their scholarship and their wealth of Prashanti, unriffled mental peace with the uninitiated and struggling, so that they too may get a glimpse of the glory and move forward. But Baba says Atma Vidya should no longer be the monopoly of Pathshala and Pandits. It is right of every human being endowed with Viveka, Vairagya, Vichakshana, reason, detachment, and discrimination, whether they are aware of it or not, to imbibe and earn joy and peace. Water is cheap than milk. Water is essential for process of living. Milk is essential for health and strength to resist the onslaught of disease. Now, secular education, water, which teaches skills and transmits information, is being supplied in schools and colleges. Atma Vidya milk is stored by Pathshala and ashrams. Water becomes costly and a high price is paid for it when mixed with milk, then that it too becomes nourishing. Therefore, Atma Vidya has to be communicated to youth in college along with the skills and information so that they can face the dilemmas of life boldly. Baba says, we have heard of the 7 years war, the 30-year war, and the 100-year war, the war between man and mind, between Jivi and Maya. The individual and the objective world is co-terminus with time. The earliest men were entangled in it. Last man will have to fight it unless, like Arjun, you choose the Lord as your charioteer and surrender the senses, mind, the intellect, the desire, the means, and the ends to him. The war shall not end in your victory. That is the reason that Atma Vidya teaches. That is the lesson that children of men have the right to imbibe. Apart from curriculum and the attention paid to its demand, the college insists upon the students attending prayer sessions and meditation classes. A course of lecture on the cultural heritage of India is given during the year. The importance of yoga and mental poise for physical well being is emphasized, and practical lessons are arranged. Students are trained to keep away from the contaminating influence of films and horror comics. They are encouraged to be simple in dress, avoid elaborate hairstyles which attract attention by their outlandishness. They are advised to emulate the great women of ancient India, celebrated in epic and Upanishads as well as in history. The atmosphere of college, charged with blessings of Baba, is itself conducive to the development of sattvic qualities. Baba visits the college often, advises the students himself. Occasionally, he brings with him eminent educationalists filled with Sai inspiration to speak to them. Above all, Baba knows every one of the staff and student. He is immediately aware of whatever happens in each one's mind, and so all are ever alert that the limit set by him for conduct are not infringed. Dr. Gokak has said that many others have emphasized the ideals of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, and Prema, but it is only Baba who has shown them in practice so clearly, so uncompromisingly. If you learn that for Shanti, learn it from Baba. If you aspire to find Prema, approach Baba and be inspired by him. but there is one more superb excellence, an excellence that is unique in Baba, and that is power. He has the power to change circumstances, to shape the course of events, to redirect, help forward, transmutate, and terminate whatever he feels needs such treatment. So, when he starts a college and dedicates it for a purpose, it is bound to move along the lines he has laid down. He has the power. Its students have the fortune of being forged as instruments for transforming the world into heaven he has planned it to become. Make me your charioteer, Baba tells us. Take hold of the unique chance. Ask me about sadhana, which can grant you liberation. For later it will be difficult for you to approach me. Flood streams of people are coming to me from all quarters. This divine phenomena is bound to grow into a Viksha, uh, a world tree that provides shade and shelter for all humanity. This has come down in this form for that very purpose. It knows no hesitation, no halting. My name is Sathya, truth. My teaching is truth. The path is truth. I am truth. Baba, luckily, is the charioteer of the college, and so the students will grow into straight, brave, honest pilgrims. They will grow into good daughters, efficient citizens, faithful wives, affectionate mothers, and expert teachers. Mothers bring up the children. She also teaches the child to revere the father. She has to do it because nature does not bind the father to the child as intimately as it binds the mother. Baba has come to teach, declares Charles Penn. Let us all avail ourselves of him. Know that we have been drawn to him to learn. We must not only bathe in the momentary bliss of his being, but learn to carry this security, this inner peace with us to our homes. When we arrive home, we must remember that the distance has no power to prevent Baba's teachings to flow to us. We must remember to ask him to solve each of our problems and then be constantly aware of each succeeding moment for his guiding answer. The answer will be clear and correct, and the interpretation will be easy if only we pray. Every student of Baba's college is privileged to have such a teacher. This is indeed a great and good fortune. Baba has a sense of urgency when he speaks of educational reconstruction for the consequences of starving the spirit at a time when boys and girls are preparing for the battle of life are serious. So the Anantapur college was started in borrowed rooms and halls and hurriedly erected sheds so as to avoid any further delay while the building came up according to the plan he had drawn and designed. So too, when he resolved upon Boys' College at Bangalore, he graciously allowed the college to encroach into the garden at Brindaban itself so that temporary structure could be erected there in order to commence the college instantly. Colleges are not composed of bricks or mortars, nor they are to be evaluated by magnitude of the buildings which house the classes. They are to be evaluated by character and usefulness of the students which fill the classroom, their behavior in playgrounds and outside, their attitude towards their parents, elders, and teachers, and the ideals they follow in their later life, Baba says. Baba himself supervised a large, at every stage, the erection of the building for the laboratories, the library, and the classes. He guided the fulfillment of all the contingent requirements and so on. On the inauguration day, the college looked spick and span, a rare example of college completely equipped and furnished on a very day when it began receiving the first batch of pupils. On 9th of June 1969, the college was inaugurated by Chief Minister of Mysore State, Shri Virendra Patil. He said, Baba has come to resuscitate Dharma, which is the foundation for the welfare of humanity. Dharma insists on the supremacy of ethical and spiritual values and a college fostered by Baba is bound to promote these values among the youth. Dr. V.K. Gokak, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Bangalore, to which the college is affiliated, welcomed the new addition as gem and jewel crown of Bangalore University. It will set the pattern for college education not only in academic field but also in ethical and spiritual field. This is a college conceived, devised and completed by Baba's love, grace and wisdom. Brick by brick, plank by plank, he attended to every detail. It is a lesson for all who seek to do sincere, loving service. Here, teachers and students have the unique chance of learning the art of achieving harmony and gaining peace apart from intellectual attainment, which the curriculum enjoins. Baba drew the attention of the large gathering of rural folks who had evinced enormous enthusiasm that a college has been established in their village. He said the villages still preserve and promote traces of mutual cooperation and brotherly love, faith in God, and reverence to elders. He exhorted them to uphold these ideals so that their children might grow into happy citizens unaffected by the damaging distractions of city life. This college will pay attention to providing for its alumni a complete education, namely Karma Marg, Dharma Marg, and Brahma Marga, all the three, the principle of right action, social behavior, and spiritual advancement, he said. Addressing the students, he said, "You may continue in this college or leave and join some other, returning home after completing your studies. But whatever you are, I desire that you should shine forth as recipients of the special attention we bestow upon you. Do not enter the fray of political controversies. Politics at present and perhaps always is sordid game, where passions run high, power is sought through devious ways, and prejudice are fanned into hatred. You must become a new type of leader, shaped in the crucible of seva, march into future with light of the past as one who appreciates the wisdom that has been garnered through the ages." In the message Baba gave to be printed in the prospectus of the college, he stated, "This is a divine and blessed land. The tradition of this land is spiritual, but 99% of the people are either ignorant or scornful of anything that bears the label of spirituality. The people have themselves devalued their culture. Correct your own faults. Do not search for fault in others. Be respectful and loving to your near and dear ones and to your fellow beings. Serve the country and pray for the welfare of the world." The college emblem selected by him is eloquent about the ideals that are being translated into action in the college. It has 5-petaled lotus within a circle. The petals represent 5 major religions of the world. Om standing for Sanatan Dharma, the cross for Christianity, chakra for Buddhism, crescent for Islam, and flame of fire for Zoroastrianism. The lotus is the ancient Aryan symbol, untouched by the mud where it is born, and unsoiled by water through which it emerges and upon which it floats. It is a symbol of beauty, peace, and auspiciousness. Inside the lotus is the flame of illumination, without which the knowledge is a burden and life an arid encounter with the flimsy urges of the senses. Overarching the circular emblem is a semicircular border, along which is printed the college motto, Dharmo Rakshati Rakshata Satya Nasti Parabrahma. Embodying the very core of Vedic teaching, Dharma, it says, guards those who adhere to it, and there is no Dharma higher than truth. When Dharma ceases to inspire and transform individuals, the world will inevitably be affected by agony and fear. Among the rules of students that are given in the prospectus, we find this sentence: "Now that you have earned the privilege of being student in this college, under the direct guidance and fostering care of Bhagawan Sri Satya Sai Baba, make up your mind to be worthy student, in remembering Baba's exhortation. Education without character is a great danger. Number 10 of the rules read: students are particularly advised to cultivate courtesy, helpfulness, and tolerance. Baba's five-fold message of conduct, Satya Dharma, Shanti Prema, and Ahimsa, should inspire everyone working and learning in the college. Number 11 reads: the college attaches great importance to studies. Weekly and monthly tests, quarterly exam, etc., are laid down, and progress reports are sent to parents periodically. Here too, bhajans and meditation and prayers at the beginning of the day's work, for which students and members of the staff have to be present, are insisted upon. Above all, Baba evinces maternal affections upon every student, however large the number in college. He loves the boys so much that they obey him implicitly. They are so afraid of his neglecting them or ignoring them even for a minute. If they misbehave or break any of the taboos, they are even vigilant in discipline. Baba always advises them to avoid five delinquencies. The eye should not wander towards sight that inflame the senses or arouse ideas conflicting with morality or the duty towards parents, elders, and the culture of a country. Words that emanate from the mouth should not hurt the self respect of others or utter lies simply because they are pleasant. They should not smack of scandal or spite. The hand should not be raised in anger against anyone, or should it be used to wreak vengeance or steal another's property. The ear should not exalt in salacious stories, scandals, or deleterious lists. The mind should not be fouled by attachment to bad habits, bad impulses, and plans to achieve the conspiracies of the senses. These five doshas are anathema in opinion of Baba. Every student is made to remember this by constant warning from him. There is no activity of the college in which Baba does not evince interest, for he knows that it is the atmosphere in which the education is imparted and imbibed that really counts. Since the college and hostel are situated within the compound, Baba walks in during prayer session, presides over moral instruction, lectures, and himself supplements instructors. He writes and directs plays for the college dramatic society. Often he pats a good student on the back, pulls up a lecturer who saunters into the lecture room a few minutes after the bell, inquires from a sluggard the percentage of marks he secured at monthly test, creates a fountain pen or a watch for some diligent, well behaved boy about whom the principal gives a report that confirms his own opinion, advises the librarian about classification, peeps into the dissection room of the budding zoologists, and generally moves about as a guidant deity of the institution. As a result, the students of the college established by Baba reveal qualities of goodness, levels of sympathy, depth of learning, veins of golden devotion that few would believe they have. Om Sai Ram, end of chapter 4.